Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Howie. And as always, our show has a longtime sponsor, DJEventPlanner.com. And our other sponsors will be down below when this gets published to YouTube. And we'd appreciate you checking them out if you would, please. So we have with us Kevin, and let's see who else we've got. Buddy with us. Thanks, Buddy. We got my road dogs with me.
Road dog.
Don't have anything to drink, but
I got no drink.
there you go.
Always have a drink ready for road dog.
Good to see you.
I forgot.
And from swinging Temecula, California, we have Mr. Jay Brandon with us. Thanks, Jay.
What's up, Howie?
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, you'll appreciate this. I've got to tell you this before you start. I was at a wedding show yesterday, and I talked to a DJ about something. He goes, "You're on Disc Jockey News TV." I'm like, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "I watch you on the Howie show, and then you and Brian and Howie." I'm like, "Oh, yeah. Thanks for tuning in." So
Yeah.
I sadly was moving around, did not get his name at the time. He's with this company called C Squared, but nice to bump into people at a wedding show and find out they're a fan of the show. So
That's cool because
I thought you'd appreciate hearing that.
Yeah, we hear that at the conferences too that we go
Yeah.
to.
We don't normally hear it in the streets, though,
Like,
which means I need to get better security, is what that really tells me.
you know what I do though when they go, hey, I watch you guys all the time on Disc Jockey News TV. I go, well, hey, could you give us a thumbs up? Hit that thumbs up, all right?
Yep.
You're the guy that doesn't do the thumbs up, right? And they, oh no, we really like it. I just throw them off a little bit, but yeah, I'm still a little bit under the weather, as you can tell by my voice. But we do have an inquiry from a listener, and it says here, what DJs have inspired you or are your favorite DJ, and why? All right, we'll start at the top. Kevin.
Present.
Yes.
So DJ that inspired me, I guess the reason I got into it is my uncle, who's a little bit younger. He graduated class of 76. He got out of school, worked for a factory for a little bit, didn't like that. Was probably the class clown. He got into DJing immediately, almost as soon as he got out of school in 76. Did the local circuit with the bars and some of the little clubs they had in town. Grew the business, grew his stature, moved on to bigger and better things into Columbus market. Worked at a club called Barrymore's, I think, in Detroit. I think there was some outside locations in some other states and places. And sort of got inspired by him. He come back locally. Before he left, he was doing weddings and that kind of stuff too also. Sort of kicked to the curb. They thought he was too old, but yet he was the draw DJ for the night on the weekends. Got to rub elbows with Dennis Rodman, a lot of the Lions players and stuff like that. So he got it good, but they sort of said, you're getting too old. Came back here. He was just enough age difference, so I didn't get to hang out a lot with him because he moved up to Detroit. And so when he came back down, I got to hang out with him, go out on shows. Thought this is fun. Learn from him, learn from some of the other DJs. And so that's sort of what got me into it and the motivation.
Very cool. All right, Buddy, how about you?
I'd probably say back in high school, it was listening to the DJs on the radio. Here in Chicago, B96 was very prominent when I was in high school. And they made me want to be a DJ because DJs attract young ladies. And
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be one of the cool guys, and I wanted to attract, women, and wanted to hang out at places and just be that cool dude that walked past everyone and slammed down music and everybody danced, had fun, and then the girls wanted your number at the end of the night, and I can talk to them and stuff, But that was unfortunately very short lived, because when I started, I realized you needed a lot of work and stuff like that, and to be famous, you had to be working for much longer than what I started at. So I was already starting to bomb. So it took a while, worked really hard, stopped for a while. And then when I started back up, I restarted again because people were asking, hey, didn't you DJ a long time ago? I'm like, yeah, I did. Like, why did you stop? I'm like, you know what? I don't know why. I just said, yeah, forget it. Just dumb young, and started back up again and started a business. And, it's one of the things that, when I look at now at DJs who inspire me, like now, Howie, you're one of the DJs inspires me. Brian S. Red's one of the DJs. Jay is. John is. Everyone who I'm here with the show, they inspire me today. They inspire me to do better and to grow my business. And, I always say this to you guys when we're talking, just in the room, not in the show, but it's always an honor to be here with a room of great DJs. And I always feel very humble to be here, but also it's great that I can contact you guys, ask questions, and talk to you guys and get ideas. And I feel that's one of the things that if you want DJs to inspire you and people who inspire you, you shouldn't just look at, DJs who inspire you in the past. DJs who inspire you now and in the future to keep you continually growth and make your business better and better.
Thank you, buddy. How about you, John?
I would say coming up when I was starting out, the DJs, we had the radio guys, of course. We listened to Casey Kasem and Dick Clark and the names, syndicated international names. Yeah. But it was really the guys that were running the discos that were able to blend records and make that seamless transitions and seem to do really well with the programming and mix stuff together. When I started out, it was out of New York. A lot of those guys, Cool Herc, Red Alert, Grandmaster Flash. These are the guys that were, turntable pioneers that were just not just playing a record and talking over the ending and playing a record. These guys are putting stuff together in creative ways. So that's kind of where I cut my teeth with that. When I got started, it was two turntables, and I was buying a lot of hip hop records because that was their style. And I knew the other types of music, because when you DJ for a birthday or a wedding, you need Lawrence Welk and you need Mitch Miller and you need all that other stuff that's not hip hop. But what really gave you the passion, or to really learn how to put stuff together by beats, was the original guys, the Jam Master Jays and the Funk Master Flex and all those guys. When I was coming up, it was just really impressive what they could do, and just take a whole bunch of different sources and make it just a continuous train of thought. Going forward into the new guys, anyone who knows how to program, that can put a good set together. Of course, a lot of us here are on our Twitch channels, and it's great watching Jay and Buddy, just to get an idea of their musical backgrounds. Because what I play, being from the East Coast, might not be what Buddy in Chicago House is doing, or Jay's experience with having some different types of music. So it's more the record manipulators, and and anyone to this day, if you need to listen, I'll throw on a Twitch set and look for someone that's either on turntables or doing something that's in the style of like Scratch Bass or one of those guys, and say these guys are emulating the pioneers that understand what it was really all about, and they're taking it to the next level.
Very cool. And Jay,
it's interesting because I got into radio DJing in 82 or 83. So like 83 to 85, I was working with a radio station in Boston, and I thought that's what I wanted to do. And, it was the first time I ever heard anyone mix. I think it was Bradley J, and it was like 2 a.m, and he played Moving in Stereo by the Cars into Seasons of Wither by Aerosmith. And it was just a smooth, there was no stopping. It was just 2 pieces of vinyl, and he had them transition into each other. And I was just blown away. But the funny thing was, I was playing guitar, and I kind of left the DJ aspect and started focusing on guitar. So I never I didn't have the Buddy background, Brian, you. You to a point, because you were more bands and sound and lighting.
Yeah.
But I was really more about bands. I didn't know DJs. And then on a whim, working in a club in 95, I loved what the DJs were doing. And one of them was sick one day and didn't show up, but left his CDs. And it was a Saturday day shift. So I ended up DJing it. And the club, the club said, you can have this shift if you want. So that was the beginning of my career. I didn't get into weddings and all that till like 97-ish. And a lot of it was being self-taught. So when I first got into DJs, I got into like more of the Tiesto styles, Armin van Buuren, Paul van Dyk, Oakenfold, like that style. Mm-hmm. But it was still like my passion is really more with the rock scene. And there wasn't really anyone doing that. I mean, I'm a huge Scribble fan because I've seen him do rock sets, but I didn't fall in love with the artistry of it as much as the idea of I can play music whenever I want to whoever I want, however I want. I mean, I was opening for, Van Halen tribute bands in the late 90s. I was the opening DJ. So I'd get to play all my 80s metal stuff. So I didn't really fall into the world of being a proper DJ until the 2000s. And then I realized, wait a second, most wedding DJs aren't really trying to mix that much. And that's when I started really going into like Eric Prydz. And today, I think the most influential DJ for me would probably be Fatboy Slim. Because I've seen him do stuff that just doesn't make sense. Because it's not a club DJ angle, but what he's doing is total wedding DJ. I saw him in Miami drop Celia Cruz, Carnival of Life in the middle of his set. Not an edit, not a remix, just the song. And he had a Latin crowd on the beach in front of him, and they lost their ever-loving minds. And everyone around me is like, what is this? What is this? I'm like, it's Celia Cruz, Carnival of Life. Like, this is a wedding song I play every week. Like, you're kidding. I'm like, no. Like, this guy is amazing. He's reading the crowd. So I'm really more the reading crowd guy. And I've kind of, and I've learned from everyone in here. I've watched Buddy do his video sets. I've watched John do sets. And it's just, if music is at the forefront of your career, you'll be great. You'll be fine. You take a moment to play what you want that makes you happy. And hopefully the people that like that too will find you, and then accept that when you do public events, your obligation and job is to play to that crowd. It's not to just say, I want to hear Aerosmith all night. Well, then go play it to an Aerosmith crowd. But, if you're going to do a wedding or a public event or a school event, enjoy the challenge of playing to a new crowd that doesn't know you, didn't hire you, and get to impact their life in a positive way so they remember how much fun they had because of you.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it. I was, such as yourself, going to LA to be a big rock star. I went to New York, and I wound up, I was doing lights and sound, as everyone knows, for some Hall of Famers and now. And then I left that after 4 years. I had that a contract there. And then I became a big fish in a pretty big pond down this way, up and down the shore areas and the resort areas like the Poconos and so forth. And these were, you mentioned like a tribute band. Back then, we didn't have tribute bands that would do all AC/DC or all Aerosmith or something. They did a little of everything. They were cover bands, is what they were. And then that came that famous night when the owner of the bar, they had 3 stages, so there was always music. But they shut down one room and they went down to 2 bands. And as the crowd dwindled, because they changed the drinking age, they closed off another part of it, and they only had one stage, and I had to play music in between for the breaks. Then came that fateful Wednesday night that he came up to me, the owner of the bar that is, and he said, "Hey, we're not going to have bands here during the week, just on weekends. So would you come in and play on Wednesday?" And it was for the same money I was getting with the band, splitting it 5 ways. And I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, I'm gonna get to keep all the money. This is all in my head. I don't have to split this with anybody. And I'm like, yeah, I could definitely do that. I'll be here every Wednesday for you. And so when I was self-taught, because I was actually using a live mixing console at the time. So and I was using cassettes, and then when I finally got myself a Radio Shack controller, then started learning like that. And I would say the people that have inspired me in the last 10 years would be Brian, who's not here, Jay, and John. And it's we've had some really cool things. This is our 4th year since COVID doing this, and we've gotten to know each other pretty well. And then of course we see each other at conferences, but it's a unique kind of club to belong to. You're kind of like hanging with your own people that have that love of music, that you can emanate that off of yourself to other people. You see them, giving you the thumbs up, or they come by and give you the high five. And it's like, there's nothing like it, there's nothing like it when that happens. And sure. I'm fortunate to have done a lot of that. So does anybody else have anything they would like to say, or another topic, or do we want to put a fork in this?
Just that this feels like the green room, and just behind the curtain is the stage, and we're all just kind of, this is the backroom talk before the next person goes up to play. We just kind of have that camaraderie about ourselves that we've developed over the last couple of years. Our conversations never end. They just kind of trail off until we pick up and start talking the next time. It's kind of like that never-ending dialogue of someone who lives with you almost.
Well, it's what's cool about it is like every one of you guys, especially the core 4, which will be Jay and Brian, John, and myself, who pretty much took the helm of this 4 years ago. If you don't know us and you see us out on the road, come up and say hi, because I can guarantee you that the people that you see here are the same people that you're going to meet. Jay is Jay, either here or there, and John is as well. Brian's the same way. Nobody's putting on airs, or I
can't even afford Nike Airs. Are you kidding me? Come on.
No, but you do have a priceless pair of Chucks there, don't you?
I do. Adidas up there.
Oh, Adidas. Oh, okay, yeah.
Jimmy Spin, one of a kind.
Jimmy Spin, yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you all for tuning in. And hey, in the comments, when it goes to YouTube, or a lot of people message me, if you would like us to cover a topic, or you have a question, put it in there. And until then, we'll see you next week. Good night, all.